Welcome to Knightline at Night on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Night Nation's only call-in show goes live now.
All right, hello Night Nation. This is Andrew Phegley coming to you from the Dever Team Studios and the WDBO Studios and the Santa Rosa Beach Studios for Roger there. Call Travis Dever for all your New Smyrna Beach real estate needs, 386-690-1636. We're brought to you by Chad Bar Law, though, raising the bar on what to expect from your personal injury attorney. Give Chad a call, 407-599-9036 for a free consultation, or visit chadbarlaw.com. We are taking your calls, 844-580-WDBO, 844-580-9326. I am Andrew Phegley, AP _Knightline on Twitter, or at UCF _Knightline on Twitter. Got Ben Stout with me at Big Social 32 on Twitter. Roger Phipps at Night Bengal from the Santa Rosa Beach Studios. And you can find everything that we're talking about here and listen to the rest of our shows on NightlineSports.com. Nightline with a K, obviously. And we got old Ronald in the studio at the WDBO making us sound good, so we appreciate that. Ben, how you doing?
I'm doing wonderful.
Good. Roger, are you there?
I am doing wonderful here in Santa Rosa Beach.
All righty, good. We got everybody here, so we got there's stuff to talk about UCF. We're
Absolutely.
Still waiting for stuff to get going. A little bit of football's going finally. That's a good thing. Got some transfers. You know, this whole transfer thing, the transfer portal's a little crazy this year. With
especially
the guys,
for UCF. Yeah.
Got a guy from Nebraska, got a guy from Georgia, now we got a guy from Florida. So good going there. I don't know what else. What do you want to talk about, Ben? We'll start off with that.
Well, it's a little bit of random topic, but with the Big Ten and Pac-12 leaving, there's been a lot of reshuffling of the polls. Not the official polls yet. The coaches poll announced that they weren't going to reshuffle the polls until the game one starts this fall, but I did notice that 247 put out a preseason top 25 poll, and they had 4 American Conference teams in it. And I tweeted out about an hour ago that it does seem like the American Conference has the biggest opportunity this year, if it actually goes down in the fall, to really establish itself as a power conference. Obviously, UCF was the top one there at 13, and Cincinnati at 14. But certainly, it seems like a lot of chance to establish themselves as a power conference, like they've been trying to do since its existence.
Yeah, well, they need to take all the teams that aren't playing, the Big Ten,
right.
The Pac-12, any teams that aren't playing that were in that thing, they don't deserve to be in the top 10 or the top 25 anymore, so they might as well take them out. So. Yeah. Well, that's good. 13, we'll take it. Would like to be a little bit higher than that, obviously, but we've got maybe something to prove to get there.
Exactly.
So, Roger, what's on your mind this evening to start out with?
Oh, there's lots of things on my mind. Of course, always recruiting, and like you said, we're catching hot fire with those stars. But just in general, to kind of add on to the topic you kind of started, something of note that is afoot is there are rumors swirling that the B1G, or the Big Ten Conference, may bring back their football season on Friday. So that would be a super interesting development. There's been a big movement with regard to parents and players talking about this particular topic and saying that they want to play. Of course, UCF has played yesterday. They played their 3rd practice out of 4. But it'll be really, really interesting if they put their hand back into the mix. And then the other thing that's kind of interesting to me and something I've been thinking about is, should the American have stuck with a similar plan to the ACC and others with a 10-1 schedule versus going the 8-4? So, what are you guys' thoughts on that?
Well, if you don't mind, Andrew, I want to go take a step back to that Big Ten comment. have you heard if the Big Ten they had and the Pac-12 had to have ceased all football operations as soon as they announced that they weren't playing football, or have they continued to have their student athletes work out, or does anybody know that by chance?
I have no idea.
They are continuing to practice. They are continuing to practice. So Ohio State has continued to practice. Michigan State has continued to practice. Nebraska has continued to practice. So they're still doing 20 hours currently in practice. Now, I don't know if that's, hey, they're playing in pads and scrimmaging, or if they're just doing film study and working out. So I can tell you that they were allowed to continue those activities, and they have been thus far.
Well, I think that they both, the Big Ten and the Pac-12, jumped the gun. I mean, deciding that they weren't going to play, and then everybody else decides that they are in the FBS, basically, except for the MAC. And they jumped the gun, too. I think they were the first one saying that they weren't going to play. So that those MAC schools need the money.
They do.
They do, because, I mean, they don't have a lot of other stuff, so they need their football money. They need their television contract money. It's not that much, but it's better than nothing.
Right.
They need their revenue. I just think it's crazy. When I saw that, I thought it was crazy. When I saw the Big Ten and the Pac-12, I thought it was crazy. I still think it's crazy. And then you have their players on social media, Justin Fields more than anybody else, saying, look, we want to play. The players want to play. This isn't the players saying this. This is the league commissioner and other people. The university presidents, I guess, may be saying this. But the revenue cut that they're going to take, all these schools, for not playing football, I mean, I wonder, and I don't know how this has worked out, but all those schools that or conferences that don't want to play, what about all their money that the TV contracts? Are they still going to get that money even if they don't play, or should that TV money be redistributed? If they're not going to get it this year, then give it to some other people. ESPN, give the American a little bit more money because we're going to play,
and we're going to get higher ratings.
Exactly.
I would think. Yeah.
Fox Sports, CBS,
right?
Give everybody a little bit more money in the pot for the conferences that are going to play, because you're not having to give it to the conferences that aren't going to play.
Well, this is one of the. Go ahead, Roger.
No, I was just going to say, I can answer that question. One, they would not receive that money. Iowa just came out this past week and said they would be losing $100 million in revenue from losses, about $87 million in between their TV contracts, and then another $37 million in donations that they expect to lose. So you're talking about a fiscal hit of about $100 million. And it goes back, you do have a point with regard to value of that viewership, because the reason all these TV broadcasters have these bowl games and all this stuff is because they make their money on ad revenue. There's a declining market with cable sales, so they're making it with ad revenue. So if there's less content available, then yes, I think the American and its member schools and UCF has every right to ask for more of that, a bigger share of that pie. Now the question is, and nobody can really answer this, and this kind of goes back to what I was talking about earlier. If we've been losing schools left and right. Tulsa just came out and paused practice because they had 8 COVID players, 8 test positive for COVID, and then another 8 that were around them that isolated, and that's our first conference game. Today, as it stands, FIU dropped out because they rumor has it they had a rash of positive COVID tests. So if that's the case, that really leaves us with Georgia Tech. And then if that happens and we can't play teams like Tulsa, at what point does it not make sense for us financially? Because, part of going 8-4 and having that number of those numbers of games is to make sure you have enough home games to bring that home game revenue in, number one, and number two, to have enough TV appearances. So every single game that we lose, that we don't make it on TV, we're obviously going to lose that revenue as well. And if conference teams start flaking out, what does that mean for us? And at what point does it not make sense financially anymore for the AAC and more specifically UCF?
Well, I mean, I think you hit on it earlier when you said, you talked about the Big Ten they made the announcement last week, right before we went on air, that they were canceling fall sports, and you're saying that Friday they're potentially going to reverse that decision. Everything right now, everything is fluid, right? The entire situation, it changes minute to minute, day to day, and so who's to say that the American can't get together as a conference with the Resco and say, hey, listen, somebody like Danny White, who is a big voice in that room, says, hey, 8-4 was great for us a couple weeks ago when we made that announcement, because we looked around the college football landscape and we said, okay, so we could probably take advantage of this opportunity and be able to have 4 out-of-conference games and really pump up the conference that way. But right now, with all these conferences and schools dropping out and the games not making sense, does it look better, especially with the schedule being pushed back as well? Does it work out better for us to readjust our conference schedule, add a couple of conference opponents throughout the year, or add a couple of conference games to the schedule, and then maybe one out-of-conference game? You could see that still happen, I guess.
Yeah, and I think that there probably is other opportunity if FIU can't play or whatever. There's probably other opportunity to play some other teams. Somebody is going to need a game as well that FIU was playing or something like that. So I'm sure there's teams out there that are going to need games just as much as everybody else is. Obviously, this thing with players testing positive, that only lasts so long, though. Some people have been coming back in a week, especially if they don't have symptoms. They're getting tested again in a week. They're not doing the whole 14 days thing. You've seen that with the other sports.
I was thinking the MLB. Yeah, the MLB. Yeah.
They'll test in a week. You get 2 positive 24 hours away from each other, and you're back. So I don't know if that will have lingering, lasting effects, honestly. NASCAR has done the same thing with their people that have tested positive. Jimmy Johnson tested positive at one point, was out for a race, came back the next week, basically.
Wow.
Because he tested negative after that. Who knows if these tests are false positives as well?
Right.
Because if they don't have any symptoms, there's a lot of false positive tests. So I think they need to be retested quickly to see really where they stand.
And hopefully, as every day, every week goes on, we're learning more and more about this virus, and the smart people in the room will hopefully make those adjustments as we go.
Right. So yeah. The other thing was I did our poll on Twitter, and it's almost become a weekly poll that I've been doing. Do you think, if I can find my Twitter screen, I don't know what happened to it. Oh, there it is. I said, will UCF have a fall football season in 2020? 56.4 this week said yes. So 43.6 said no, obviously, if you can do the math there, 56.4. So it's more positively trending. Before, I don't remember what the results were. I can probably look back on here.
I think it was a couple weeks ago. It was the flip side of that, right?
Yeah,
it was basically 60%
if you give me a second,
no.
maybe I can find it. Yeah, I'll look back for the last one that we did. But yeah, I mean it's trending positive. So.
Well, let me ask while you're looking that up.
Go ahead.
I'm
sorry. Will UCF football on August 8th? I asked the same question. Will UCF football have a season in 2020, fall football season? And 65.5% said no. Yeah. So it's definitely, trending a little bit different this week, but next week it could be totally opposite from that. I have said for the last couple of weeks that I'm giving it about a 35% chance. Now I'm going to give it about a 40% chance. All right, we need to take a break here. We'll be right back on Knightline at night, and we're going to talk about all this stuff and a lot more. So you can give us a call, 844-580-9326.
Now the 3 big things you need to know.
3. The U.S. Postmaster General suspends planned USPS reforms until after the election. 2. It's primary election day in Florida. Supervisor of Elections Bill Cowles.
We've done everything we can. Everybody's wearing masks today.
More than 2.2 million people have already voted by mail, and over 500,000 people visited early voting centers. We are tracking the election results right now. We'll give you an update at 9:30. 1. The DNC Democratic National Convention continues tonight and will be taking place fully online. You can listen by tapping the DNC button in the WDBO app, and we will cover the RNC next week.
WDBO is putting you on the payroll. Yeah, starting Monday, listen at 8 a.m. for the payroll payout keyword, and you could win your share of $200,000. We know how hard you work, so we're giving you 5 chances a day, 8, 10, noon, 2, and 5 to win $1,000.
I love it!
Your share of $200,000. See official rules in the WDBO app, the payroll payout. Get paid just for listening to WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580.
An auto accident can change your life forever. At Chad Barr Law, we are raising the bar on what to expect from your personal injury attorney. Hi, I'm Chad Barr, and I want you to know that our entire team is dedicated to providing you with the representation you deserve in your greatest time of need. If you or a loved one have been injured in an auto accident, call 407-599-9036 for a free consultation or visit chadbarlaw.com. At Chad Barr Law, our clients come to us in need and leave as family. Offices, Altamont Springs.
Check engine, airbag, brake lights on all at the same time? What's it all mean? Join me, Larry Perry, every Saturday 3 to 5 p.m. for the Jasper Engine and Transmission Magic Mechanics Show, where we take your automotive questions. Hey, did I mention it's free?
The opinions you hear are that of the host and callers, and not that of WDBO.
Working from home and school from home can be tough. Visit Refresh Computers now for Dell and HP laptops starting at just $159 for your home office and school needs. Visit the Refresh Computers Superstore in Longwood or call 407-478-8200 now.
Being a letter carrier and walking 20,000 steps, which equals up to about 10 miles a day, it's tough. I really didn't have feet problems. I had back problems. I had had as many epidurals that I could possibly have in 1 year. That was scary. Well, I've been delivering letters to the Good Feet store for over 6 years, and the expert there finally convinced me to try their arch supports.
For over 20 years, we've been helping people like Keith actually live the life they love without their feet getting in the way.
The people at the Good Feet store really educated me about what the arch supports could actually do. And lo and behold, I have no more back problems. The future I can see now. I couldn't see it before. Where I would be without them, I have no clue. I'm Keith, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Visit the Good Feet store at Millennia Plaza and Waterford Towers, and now open in the Villages.
Hi, Dr. St. Germain DC here with Burn Fat Orlando. I would like to personally invite you to download the WDBO app powered by BurnFatOrlando.com. With Burn Fat Orlando's step-on-the-scale money-back guarantee, if you don't lose weight within the first 10 days, we'll refund your money.
And now, back to Knightline at Night on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Call now at 844-580-9326.
All right, we are back live on Knightline at Night from the Dever Team Studios and the WDBO Studios. Call Travis Dever for all your new Smyrna Beach real estate needs. 386-690-1636. Brought to you by Chad Barr Law. Raising the bar on what to expect from your personal injury attorney. Give Chad a call, 407-599-9036 for a free consultation, or visit chadbarlaw.com. He will take care of you. We're taking your calls, 844-580-WDBO, 844-580-9326. I am Andrew Phegley, AP Knightline on Twitter, or UCF Knightline on Twitter. And Ben Stout is with me, Big Social 32 on Twitter. Roger Phipps is in the Santa Rosa Beach studios, and his Twitter handle is @NightBingo. We were talking a little bit about all this Big Ten thing, you know, saying that they're not going to play, but then their players clamoring for them to play. They may change their mind. And UCF's schedule as far as, you know, people are dropping off of it. Who are we going to pick up? Is there anybody to pick up? Should we have played a 10-game all-conference schedule instead of trying to bring in non-conference stuff. So we're going to continue all that talk right here, I guess. So it's still a little weird because we're kind of waiting for things to really get rolling. We're waiting to see if this whole thing is going to happen. We talked about the Twitter polls earlier and how last week it was something different, and now it was last week are we going to have a season? Now it's okay, yeah, we're going to have a season in the poll. So I'm going to continue doing those polls, and we'll see how it fluctuates. I guess it's on one week, off another week. You never know. Next week it could be completely a different story.
It's kind of like a microcosm of the last 5, 6, I don't know however long this has been since March. I think it started in March. I don't know. But it's really kind of a microcosm of this year, right? I feel like if there's a string of, now the news is a bad example of this because a string of things you hear that are positive, you start to get positive and you're like, yeah, okay, this is going to happen. We're going to open things up again. We're going to go back and all that stuff. And then you hear like 3 or 4 things or even one thing negative. All of a sudden it just goes, the roller coaster goes back down. Yeah. So, and actually I think last Tuesday was a huge example of that, right? Like in the morning, it was officially announced that Pac-12 and Big Ten are not playing. And then all of a sudden the ACC comes out and says, and I think the SEC as well just came out and said, nope, we're definitely staying the course and we're playing. And so all of a sudden that good news really made it turn positive right away. It's just it's a roller coaster of emotions right now. It's nuts.
It's a huge roller coaster. I mean, that's what 2020 has been so far. I'm ready for it to be over. Can it just be December? Can we just get it over with?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Roger, what about you? What do you think on that subject?
Well, it's definitely a roller coaster of emotions. No. For me, when I'm thinking about this, and going back on this, if the Big Ten were to step back in, I think that would be a huge boost for the entire football season. I think in UCF's case, we're in kind of a rock and a hard place because there's a lot of teams that don't want to play us. I mean, those that, the ACC, the SEC, all those teams have one out-of-conference game, and they don't want to spend it on UCF, which is, 1, a ranked opponent, 2, expected to do well again this year. So for Danny, it's got to be a struggle if, as these guys are dropping off our schedule. That being said, one of the things that we have to contend with, and going back to that original question, Navy. Navy's got the Notre Dame game that, as of this moment, is still on. And remember, this year, that Navy game versus Notre Dame belongs to the AAC, which means we're getting all the revenue from that this year. So there's that and their traditional game against Army. So I feel like the reason we haven't gone the 10-1 season thus far is because of Navy. The question is going to be, I think you heard Danny White come out with a statement recently that basically said, hey,
Roger,
have patience.
Hey, hold that thought. We got to take a break here, and we'll be right back on Knightline at night.
When you're stressed, you just don't feel like yourself. New Natrol Relaxia, a full line of drug-free supplements to help you manage occasional stress and anxiety. A special blend of herbals keeps you feeling calm and balanced throughout the day. Because when there's less stress, there's more you. Try new Natrol Relaxia. Learn more at relaxiamood.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Do you really know Joe Biden? Now, Greg Kelly uncovers the real truth. Each night at 7 p.m. Eastern, watch Greg Kelly Reports on Newsmax TV and find out the surprising truth about Joe Biden, his mental health, his big decisions, the facts about his pick for vice president. Tune into Greg Kelly on Newsmax TV tonight on DirecTV, Dish, Xfinity, Cox, Optimum, Uverse, Fios, Suddenlink, Mediacom, Wow, Armstrong, or check your cable guide. Newsmax TV. It's real news for real people.
This is the new home of WDBO.
WDBO.
107.3 FM and AM 580. Orlando's news and talk. And where Orlando turns first for breaking news, weather, and traffic 24 hours a day. Listen on the WDBO app or at WDBO.com. Live team coverage
starts now.
We hope you are enjoying your Tuesday. It's 9:30 at WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Our top story this evening, it's primary election day in Florida. We continue to track election results. Orange County Sheriff John Mina won in a landslide victory for the primary. He'll face two write-in candidates who qualified for the November ballot. Rick Seen, who served 2 terms as the Orange County property appraiser, lost against Amy Mercado. In a tight race, Monique Worrell has won the Democratic primary race for 9th Circuit State Attorney with 43% of votes. We will continue to update you throughout the night.
WDBO, where Orlando turns first for severe weather.
I'm meteorologist George Waldenberger. After a stormy afternoon, a few spotty lingering leftover showers, but these will be in the process of ending. So quiet overnight through tomorrow morning. Tomorrow, another high chance of thunderstorms. We'll have your extended 5-day forecast 4 times an hour.
I'm Juliana Maya, taking a look at your interactive weather radar, seeing mostly clear skies by Oviedo. It's 77 by Cocoa Beach. More Knightline at night in a couple of minutes. Continuing our team coverage, Winter Park Mayor Steve Leary announced 15 Light Years, a local electronic solutions company, has installed 366 solar modules on top of 2 million-gallon storage tanks.
We're excited to officially cut the ribbon and plug into the solar panels at the Aloma Water Treatment Plant, the second on-site solar panel project the city has undertaken.
This will reduce the amount of energy that is purchased to run the water treatment plant. And SpaceX launched its 100th rocket from Cape Canaveral this morning. They began operations on the Space Coast in 2006. 58 Starlink satellites were successfully deployed into orbit.
Visual confirmation of Starlink deployment. Those 58 Starlinks will be joining 600 that are already on orbit.
The goal is to supply broadband internet access to remote parts of the world. The Falcon 9 rocket booster landed on a drone ship in the Atlantic minutes after the launch. 9:33 at WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580.
An auto accident can change your life forever. At Chad Barr Law, we are raising the bar on what to expect from your personal injury attorney. Hi, I'm Chad Barr, and I want you to know that our entire team is dedicated to providing you with the representation you deserve in your greatest time of need. If you or a loved one have been injured in an auto accident, call 407-599-9036 for a free consultation or visit chadbarlaw.com. At Chad Barr Law, our clients come to us in need and leave as family. Offices Altamont Springs.
With the market in full swing and the upcoming election, it's more important now than ever to make sure you're getting the most you can from your Social Security and retirement. Hi, this is Sam from the Reinventing Retirement Show, also featured in Kiplinger and Newsmax Financial. You get one shot at taking Social Security correctly. There are more than 500 ways you can actually take it. If you haven't looked at all 500 potential ways, you might not be finding the best way possible for your retirement. That's why we offer the complimentary Social Security Maximization Report on our show. To get the Social Security Max Report, call 407-550-5591. They'll look at all 500 potential ways you can file and narrow it down to 3. That's 407-550-5591. To get the Social Security Maximization Report, to make sure you're not leaving money on the table and just make sure you're taking it correctly, call 407-550-5591.
Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC. AEWM and Oxford Advisory Group are not affiliated companies.
Does your home's water smell bad or taste bad? Maybe it smells like chlorine or rotten eggs. Are your appliances getting ruined from that water? Call the pros right now at the Pelican Water Systems, now part of Pentair Water Systems. They will find out what is really in your home's water with zero contact for their water test. With a new Pentair Water System, you're going to love the way that your water tastes from every faucet every time. The Pentair Smart Combo Salt-Free Alternative reduces 99% of scale, 97% of chlorine. It's what I have, and I absolutely love it. With their new white glove service program, your Pentair water specialist can maintain your system for you so that you don't have to. Call Mark or Miles or Buds over there, your Pentair water specialists. They'll find the solution that is right for your city or well water. Call 407-269-5040, 407-269-5040, or go to PelicanOrlando.com.
Weather, brought to you by ProTech Air Conditioning and Plumbing Services.
Clouds breaking up. Will stay partly to mostly fair overnight tonight. Another active weather day coming up for your Wednesday. 70% coverage of storms, possibly severe. We had strong winds, even possible tornadoes in Volusia County. We'll keep you posted, but overall wet weather still in the forecast. From Channel 9, I'm Chief Meteorologist Tom Terry.
Now, WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580.
Safe Touch Security.
Triple Team Traffic.
Watch for a collision Indian Hill Road at North Powers Drive in Orlando. I-4 west at OBT, you can't use the on-ramp. The 408 east off-ramp is closed at Orange Avenue. And on the Beach Line west before Goldenrod Road, you've got left lane work. The 417 south before the 408 west, you've got the off-ramp left lane closed, and Turnpike south by I-4. Watch out for 2 left lanes of construction. With traffic alerts every 6 minutes in the morning, we're helping you get to work on time. From the WDBO Triple Team Traffic Center, I'm Angie Torres.
And now, back to Nightline at Night on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Call now at 844-580-9326.
All right, that is right. This is Nightline at Night. That rhymed, guys. I might use that more often. Anyway, we're live from the Denver Team Studios and the WDBO Studios and the Santa Rosa Beach Studios with Roger. Call Travis Dever for all your New Smyrna Beach real estate needs, 386-690-1636. But we're brought to you by Chad Barr Law, raising the bar on what to expect from your personal injury attorney. Give Chad a call, 407-599-9036 for a free consultation, or visit chadbarlaw.com. We're taking your calls, 844-580-WDBO, 844-580-9326. I am Andrew Phegley. Got Ben Stout here with me, Roger Phipps, like we said, in the Santa Rosa Beach Studios. He is also known as Night Bengal. And we have Ronald in the studio making us sound good. Ronald, thank you very much. So, Roger, I cut you off because we had to go to break. Go back and remind everybody what you were talking about.
I was just talking about Navy and how, as we are part of a conference, we have to consider other teams' needs. And fortunately for the American, we have Navy because Notre Dame and their game is our game this year, which means the conference makes the revenue off of that game. So it'll be a boon for the game. However, it puts us in a tough spot because, again, going back to the conference games, if Navy has 2 games that they have to play out of conference, that effectively eliminates the 10-1 option. So at some point, we have to start thinking about it, and to your point, maybe have another conversation with the American and our TV partners and see if we can do a little shuffling of the deck. I have a feeling we may have to do that in game anyway. As you said, the testing itself, people are staying out 14, they're not staying out the full 14 days, and there's been a recent development with another test that's come out that can test in hours. So that may help as well. But at the end of the day, there's going to be a lot of scheduling volatility going on.
Well, there's a test that can test in minutes as well. I mean, so there's better options for testing. Now, as far as Navy, I think that we should take care of our full conference members a little bit before we worry about Navy, to be honest with you. Navy is only a football school in our conference. So I think if we're going to give anybody peripheral treatment and, to do anything different than they do normally, even though I understand Navy has those games that they've played for years, I think we should do that with our regular, conference members versus Navy. Right. Personally, that's just my personal opinion. Now, I love that one of the service academies is in the American. Don't get me wrong. I'm all about that. I'm not all about it when we have to play them. But I would love to see Army and Air Force, honestly, in the American with us. I'd love to see all of them because they belong in the American conference.
I was just about to say, the name lines up, doesn't it?
Every time we talk about adding a member, when one drops out, I've said from the beginning who is the perfect fit for replacing Connecticut. I couldn't think of their name for a second because it really doesn't matter.
Yeah, they are that forgettable.
They are that forgettable, and it doesn't matter what their name is anyway. If you take it from the rock. But anyway, I know Jerry Daniels won't like me saying that.
I was about to say.
But whatever. He dogged my UCF Knights a little bit on their show earlier. So anyway, I thought that Army would be the perfect fit. Have Army and Navy. They play their Army-Navy game. That could be an American game now, so I don't know. So I do like having Navy in our conference. I just don't think we should pander to them, because they have to play Notre Dame or whatever.
Yeah.
Or play Army or whatever. Just, if we're playing conference only, then play conference only. If we're not, then we can play other games.
Yeah, certainly. Even going 10-1, like, regardless, 2020, you're not going to satisfy anybody, right? So every school, every conference, I mean, they're going to have the exceptions, or going to have, I should say, not all members are going to be super satisfied with the schedule. Right now, UCF probably isn't really happy with the 8-4 scheduling, because we're struggling filling a few of those games already, because of FIU and et cetera. And they keep pushing the season back. It seems every week where we get like a month towards the season, some conference or NCAA or whatever, they continue to push the season back, which is one of the reasons why I voted no in that poll earlier today, because it is a little bit that little fact is concerning to me for sure.
When was the last time UCF had to pull out of one of their games? We lose a game every year because of something, a hurricane, COVID-19. It's usually a hurricane.
It was the UNC game, yeah. At UNC in 2018, I think.
Did we pull out of that?
It was because of the hurricane up in North Carolina.
But there's been other ones, because we had the hurricane and we had the hurricane response here.
That's right.
The year or two before that, that was Georgia Tech when they were supposed to come here.
Right, in 2017.
So, I mean, every year it seems to be something, but everybody else pulls out of the games with us. When was the last time we pulled out of a game with someone? I don't remember one.
No,
from the time that I've been covering UCF.
No, I can't.
Well, if you're talking about
us.
Are you talking about voluntarily? Because Georgia Tech was us, because we had the National Guard camping out over on campus, so we did have to pull out for that one.
Well, I don't think we had a choice to pull out for that one. You either recover your city and your county with the National Guard, or you play a football game. I mean, that's a different story.
Yeah.
These teams pulling out for other reasons, though, either their conference pulls them out or whatever. I'm just saying that there's a difference, and I don't think UCF pulls out of their conference games very often. It's other people pulling out of them. We've had people on the conference schedule or on the non-conference schedule for a long time. Texas, that's pulled out a couple of times. Right. We've had other ones. I mean, I don't even know who they all are. I'd have to go back through all that stuff, but it's happened more to us than from us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I do.
I'm just making that point. It may be a mute point, whatever.
Well, and I'll give I guess Georgia Tech a little bit of credit. I mean, they had some options, and obviously they would have chosen Georgia for their out of conference game if SEC didn't do conference only, but I will give them credit. They did hold the game with us, and who knows, that game could be in jeopardy if ACC decides to push it back another week, and you never know. But by the same token, they did hold that game with us, and I'm looking forward to it if it plays. That's
and
for
North
sure.
Carolina didn't have to pull out of their game with us, to be honest with you, this year. They didn't have to do that.
Well, they would have because of the date of the game, but they could have. I mean, maybe they could have tried to move it around to later in the year or whatever.
They were scared.
Yeah.
They were scared personally, because they're supposed to be good. We're supposed to be good. It was at our home. They haven't played us yet in our whole thing.
Yeah, that game seems to be cursed for sure. Yeah.
I don't think they want to play UCF for some reason.
I've got a lot of family in North Carolina, and 2 years ago, 2018, I particularly arranged a family reunion in North Carolina for that game. I have a cousin that goes to UNC, and both of us kind of teamed up on a family reunion up there. And I couldn't believe back then that a hurricane was in North Carolina, not in Florida, was what canceled that game. So I
that
think
was
that
the
game
hurricane there.
It
that
was
time.
it was
yeah,
there.
It wasn't
in
even
North
us.
Carolina.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
That's
so
funny.
it's crazy.
Yeah, I was going to go to that game as well.
Yeah.
I think that was the one that year that the UCF faithful that could drive within driving distance were going to go to that one. So, and this year's the Georgia Tech thing. So, I hope we get to play Georgia Tech, like you're saying. I mean, whatever. If we have to go to all conference, then do it. But
I would love it if we, and I highly doubt this is going to happen, but if Georgia Tech is going to allow anybody to be in or be fans in the stands, I'm going. Like I'd love to go.
And there was a poll on UCFsports.com about that, and the poll was pretty high. I'd have to find the actual numbers, but it was definitely a lot of people were going to go to that game if fans were allowed.
Right.
We'll have to see about that. UCF has really said nothing about if fans are going to be in the stands at all. They were talking a little bit. Danny White said something last week, put out a statement. He's going to try to get as many in there as possible, but nothing has really been said yet. So I know that media availabilities and all that stuff that we're used to is all going to be Zoom calls now, which I personally hate because the audio is horrible.
Yes.
And for me to clip those things for our shows, it makes it a little bit more difficult for me with the if you listen to the last episode of Knightline, the podcast, the clips that I had from Danny White were horrible. So you could barely hear him half the time, cutting in and out. I wish that if they're going to do that, and UCF, if you're listening, please record those on a videotape and then send them to us. Record your side of it from a videotape and use the Zoom voices from the rest of it, I guess. You know what I'm saying?
At least Danny White's side, right?
Yeah, or the players or the coaches, all that stuff. If all that stuff is going to have to be, recorded somehow, record that side of it for us. Get us some clear audio, please. I beg you.
Yeah, because that's all we care about, really. We don't really care about the reported questions.
Yeah, I mean, some of the questions are great, obviously, but we really care about the audio so we can play it. So, all right. We're going to take another little break here, and we'll be right back on Knightline at Night.
Now, the three big things you need to know.
3. Postmaster General Louis DeJoy announcing today he will suspend several cost-cutting moves until after Election Day. 2. SpaceX breaks a record and reuses a Falcon 9 rocket for the 6th time earlier this morning.
Our touchdown and shutoff. Successful landing of the first stage booster.
58 Starlink satellites were successfully deployed into orbit. 1. It's primary election day in Florida. Orange, Seminole, and Volusia counties have already surpassed the voter turnout numbers compared to the primary election in 2016.
Hurricane season. We've all been distracted, but no WDBO and Nolan's Roofing are prepared to help you get through another hurricane season. Download the WDBO app and tap the State Farm Hurricane Guide. Get the latest updates, track storms, preparedness tips, and more. And this year, don't forget to add masks, gloves, and hand sanitizers to your hurricane kit. This is where Orlando turns first for severe weather. WDBO 107.3 FM, AM 580, and online at WDBO.com.
An auto accident can change your life forever. At Chad Barr Law, we are raising the bar on what to expect from your personal injury attorney. Hi, I'm Chad Barr, and I want you to know that our entire team is dedicated to providing you with the representation you deserve in your greatest time of need. If you or a loved one have been injured in an auto accident, call 407-599-9036 for a free consultation or visit chadbarlaw.com. At Chad Barr Law, our clients come to us in need and leave as family. Offices Altamont Springs.
Working from home and school from home can be tough. Visit Refresh Computers now for Dell and HP laptops starting at just $159 for your home office and school needs. Visit the Refresh Computers Superstore in Longwood or call 407-478-8200 now.
I like daffodils, tulips, the big dinner plate dahlias. I loved being in the garden, but I wasn't going to be able to because I couldn't not only walk, but I couldn't really stand on my foot without being in pain. It was excruciating. So my husband said, let's go to the Good Feet store.
For over 20 years, we've helped people like Terry live the life they love without letting their feet get in the way.
This nice young man said, I think I can help you. He got the arch support, and I was fitted. And I kept walking back and forth across the store, and I looked at my husband and burst into tears because it was the first time in a year that I have not had any pain in my foot. I have had no pain since the day I bought them. Now I can do whatever I want. There isn't any place on my property that doesn't have flowers blooming 365 days a year. I still can't believe it. My name is Terry, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Visit the Good Feet store at Millennia Plaza and Waterford Towers, and now open in the Villages.
It's times like this that we look at the things that are truly important in our lives and we ask, how can we protect them? Mossy Oak Fence has been putting safety and security of our families and businesses first for more than 12 years. Online, it's mossyoakfence.com.
Spectrum Mobile is now the fastest growing mobile provider in the nation, growing faster than Verizon and AT&T, and even growing faster than T-Mobile. It's easy to see why. Spectrum delivers the fastest overall speeds and is the most reliable mobile service coast to coast. There are no contracts, added taxes, or fees. Switch and you could save up to 40%. And see why Spectrum Mobile is the fastest growing mobile provider. Learn more at spectrummobile.com. Based on Q1 2020 subscriber data.
And now, back to Nightline at Night on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Call now at 844-580-9326.
All right, we're back on Nightline at Night. I'm Andrew Phegley. We're live from the Dever Team Studios and the WDBO Studios. Call Travis Dever for all your new Smyrna Beach real estate needs. 386-690-1636. We're brought to you by Chad Bar Law, raising the bar on what to expect from your personal injury attorney. Give Chad a call, 407-599-9036 for a free consultation, or visit chadbarlaw.com. I'm Andrew Phegley. I think I already said that. Got Ben Stout here with me. Roger Phipps is in the, and Roger Phipps, a.k.a. Night Bengal, is in the Santa Rosa Beach, Florida studios up in beautiful Santa Rosa Beach. And Ronald's in the studio making us sound good. Thank you very much, Ronald. So, Ben, you had a topic that you were talking to me in the break about. Go ahead with that, because I like this one.
Yeah, one of the things about dealing with this COVID-19 and trying to play football is that we do have a select amount of college football players around the country that are opting out of this season. And opting out of this season, we've heard by all means, especially from UCF, that they're going to be able to maintain their eligibility, et cetera. But what that means, and we've had two so far that have been announced. It's cornerback Devontae Dawson, who could have been a starter this year, so that could be a blow to us. And then another defensive back in Josh Kelly, who was more of a special teams player.
And he was in the transfer portal and then back out of the transfer portal,
kind of
in the transfer portal. He needs to make up his mind. I guess he's made up his mind.
Yeah, and so those two players so far are opting out, and there's rumors of some others that may come out. And I find that decision interesting, and whatever they decide is best for them and their family, I'm totally fine with that. But what I find interesting as a former college athlete and a player who redshirted my first year in college, and redshirting, of course, means I get to practice with the team, I get to do all the team activities, work out, I'm around the team all the time, but I don't play in games. I didn't play much in games when I wasn't a redshirt, but that's a different story. But if you opt out of this season, you lose all of that. You don't get to be around the team. You're not participating in team activities. You're not in practices. You're not around the guys in workouts, etc. And so that's what holds that decision with so much weight, is that you essentially lose your sport, even if they continue to play. And I just find that fascinating with these players that are opting to or opting out of this season. As somebody who played college sports myself, like I don't know if I could ever bring myself to do that, but certainly they feel strongly enough about it. So I'd love to hear your thoughts about it too.
Yeah, Roger, real quick, I'm going to give you your opportunity and then I'll go last. Go ahead.
Okay. I mean, for me, they've got to do what they feel is best for them. Some people, we don't know if there's underlying medical conditions that are also impacting their decision, because that is a consideration. But for me, I mean, as a former athlete, it would absolutely kill me. And especially not being around the strength and conditioning facilities, all the coaches, nutritionists, all that other stuff. They lose all of that. So, again, I support whatever they feel is right for them, but at the end of the day, they're losing a lot by doing that. And it's going to be interesting to see what these guys look like when they come back next year, and to see if they've been able to maintain their physique and obviously their training.
That part makes it fascinating for me, for sure.
Yeah. That's a big deal, especially, they are getting their eligibility and all that. So it's like almost taking a voluntary redshirt year, which if they've already redshirted, that would give them 2 voluntary redshirt years in a way. So I think I hope that these people are being honest in their reasons of doing this. I don't want it to be out of spite for anybody. I want it to be because of a medical thing, or my mom, I can't get my mom sick, or I can't get my dad sick, or my grandma, or I'm worried about getting sick personally. I don't want it to be for other reasons besides that. Mm-hmm. It shouldn't be for personal reasons if you have a beef with your coach, or you wanted to transfer in the first place, or whatever. So the one guy, I kind of wonder, Josh Kelly, he was in the transfer portal. He's out of the transfer portal. Now he's back in the transfer portal. So there's something going on with that. I'd love to hear his reason for it. Maybe he could change my mind about that. I personally wouldn't do it. I would play.
Yeah.
I mean, I think most athletes that are out there want to play the game no matter what. It's better for them to play the game than not play the game. It's better for them to be around their teammates than not be around their teammates. It's where they belong. They chose to do this. They've waited all their lives to play college football. It's time to play college football, and I would take every opportunity to do that, especially if you redshirted a year or whatever. You wouldn't want to do this again.
Right.
Wouldn't want to redshirt again. And then this one's even farther away from a redshirt because it's pushing you away from your team. You can't even do the team activities.
You don't get any of that.
Nothing.
I mean, it's all the advantages of being a college athlete, as Roger mentioned, the nutritionist, the amount of work, being access to the workout facilities, being able to practice with the team, continuing to hone your craft and your body, and you missed on that for a full year, or at least 6 months, like that's a big deal.
Yeah. Well, this is going to be an interesting topic, and I'm sure that we're going to go on in weeks to come when we find out, more and more people doing this. I'm sure there's going to be more, and then on the other side of it, we've talked about it, there's people that want to play.
Exactly.
So, all right, this has been Knightline at Night. I'm Andrew Phegley for Roger Phipps and Ben Stout. Thank you very much for listening. We'll talk to you next week.
WDBO Orlando, WDBO FM HD2 Orlando, W297BB Orlando, Cox Media Group Station.
Powered by New South Window Solutions.